Hi friends, what do you do when you have a whole chicken? You make broth. So I made broth and I have a whole jug full of really rich chicken, lemon, garlic, rosemary. You saw me make that chicken the other day, and so now it is time to do something with the remainders of the chicken. So I've got one really big onion and that's going in, and then Peyton doesn't like celery, but he does love carrots. So I've got 3 medium-sized carrots chopped in circles because I like different shapes in my vegetables. I like to mix it up. So I'm just gonna cook these a little bit, and we're just gonna build some flavors, right? Now the only thing I'm really cooking here is the vegetables, because the chicken and the broth are already really flavorful and are really dense. So it's more kind of a warming, kind of getting vegetables together kind of go, but it'll be yummy. So the carrots and the onions, a little salt and pepper, kind of drawing out that water. We don't want them to caramelize, we just want them to get a little bit soft. So we've got those going. You're not going to be surprised by this. A lot of mushrooms, right? That is 16 ounces of mushrooms. And I need them to cook down so that there's room for everything else. So I'm going to let them get in and kind of move around. And it's just now beginning to kind of feel like autumn, and so this will be our first kind of hearty stew. I don't know if you like to make chicken and dumplings or if you like chicken and rice. We love chicken and barley. So barley is our grain of choice, and that's the kind of chicken soup I'm making today. Chicken and barley, but it's gonna have these really earthy tones of the lemon, the garlic, and the rosemary from the roasted chicken that I did earlier in the week. Excellent. So let's let these guys cook down, and then let's add some more, right? Yummo. Okay, so the mushrooms have come down a little bit. It's probably been about 5 minutes. So I've got the carrots, the onions, they're getting soft. The mushrooms are getting soft. Let's put the chicken in. I've got about 2 cups of chicken shredded. And basically, when I make a chicken, I carve it, I serve it, and then whatever's left on the bird, on the carcass, I'll carve some of it off so I get all the breast meat, I get the leg meat off, and that will eat. But then I let the rest of the carcass go into a big pot. I take my Ziploc of onion, carrots, celery ends that I've been freezing in the freezer. I put those into the pot, make that the stock, and then I go back and I break up the bird. So I get all the different little pieces of chicken off of the bird when I've made the broth, and that's what I'm going to use for my soup. So I've got the chicken in there, it's warming up. Time to put the broth in. I needed something last night that would hold the broth and fit easily into my fridge, and that's what did. And look, this is a 4-quart Dutch oven, and it is almost full. So that was a lot. I should measure how much that holds, but it definitely holds a lot. So that's great. Okay, now snap peas cut up into squares. That's going in. That'll have still some more crunch. Peyton doesn't like celery, so I cook broth. I cook my broth with celery, and I eat celery, but I don't put it in my stews when we're at this point because he doesn't like it. And that's fair. I eat it in my own things and just by itself as a snack. So we've got that. And now we're ready for the barley. So I've got 1 cup of barley. I'm gonna go for half of it initially, a little bit more, a half cup initially. I'm gonna let that cook probably for the next half an hour and see how that absorbs, if that takes a ton of the broth away, if it is enough barley. If it's not, then I'll go all the way up to a cup, but it all kind of depends on how much liquid I've got with the broth, how much liquid I've got from the mushrooms and the onions. And so right now that is really, really, really smelling yummy. But I'm gonna let that just kind of sit on a medium heat for the next half an hour. I'll check back, see how the barley's doing, and then add some more if I need to. Altogether, this is probably gonna take, it would be better if it was cooked for a whole hour. But once the barley's done, it's done, because everything else is just kind of getting a little soft, but the chicken's already fully cooked and the broth is really developed. So this could be dinner in a half an hour, but I'm gonna let it cook at least for an hour, and I might let it sit on low for the rest of the afternoon. This is what's for dinner. Okay, friends. Love ya. Love from New Jersey. Okay, here it is. Lots of vegetables, a little bit of chicken, tons of barley. Yum, yum, yum.